everybody for joining us. I think we may have a couple more trickle in, but we'll go ahead and get started in the interest of being punctual for all of you. Thank you for being here. We're really excited to have you with us with Nate this afternoon. I think most of you already know Nate, but there might be some things you don't know about him. So as Nate says, he doesn't need a title. In his own words, he's been there, done that, and come back again. He is the co-creator and founder of Ageless Workout, the Now Group, Nosh Fitness, and Healing Companies. He's a Navy vet. He spent over 27 years as a Parks and Recreation Administrator, and he has managed fitness programs in luxury 5-star properties. He holds a master's degree from the University of Kansas and a bachelor's degree from Kansas State University, but most importantly, he has a PhD from the University of Hard Knocks of Life. He's reinvented himself many times over and is now devoting himself to his second career in healing, wellness, and something that he calls really his highest calling. He sees himself as an adaptive navigator. He's an early riser, a sports and athletic nutrition coach, an educator, an author, and a national speaker. He leads by example, he inspires, he motivates others to improve their life and well-being and to live the ageist lifestyle. But lastly, he's 66 years young, and he is on the journey to 100 and invites you to join him. So with that, I welcome
you. Okay, so thank you so much. So, I want to thank Charlotte for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you, Louis, and of course, Sue, and can I take this off?
Yeah.
So everybody who has decided that they would come out today and just allow me to share some thoughts with you around leveraging active aging in this time of COVID. And so why do I want to talk about this kind of stuff? What's the significance of that for me? Well, here's the deal. I'm in a race to 100. I'm actually trying to do everything that I can to get to 100. But I don't want to get to 100 when I'm in a wheelchair and can't do things for myself, right? I want to get to 100 feeling good, looking good, smelling good, talking good. And so I got to do all of the things that I need to do. And so I'm a Pied Piper. I'm an evangelist about active aging, or, aging well, right? Living and taking back your life the way that you want to take back your life, and doing the kinds of things that you want to do at this young age. So I always tell people I'm 66 years young. I'm going back the other way. You understand what I'm talking about? Going back the other way. I'm going to slow the process. And so that's why I'm an early riser, right? I get up early in the morning so I can get my task taken care of in the morning, so that I can walk the dogs in the morning, so that I can hear what the earth has to say to me early in the morning, how the earth smells early in the morning. And after that, then I grab me a good cup of coffee, and I don't put sugar in the coffee. You guys are blaming sugar, as your main problem, right? There's some other things that we'll talk about that's a problem as well. But I don't put sugar in the coffee. I don't put cream in the coffee. I got a little bit of that coffee and I drink it up, and then I'm off to, sort of journaling, writing some stuff down about, yesterday, and how did I sleep and how did I eat, sort of looking at my life in retrospect, and trying to, again, develop the ideas and concepts that I want to live by. So I got this whole list of things in my space at my house where I've listed all of those things, and every morning I go down that list of, this is Nate Wilkins. I'm active aging. I'm a learner. I'm a leader. And so I'm actually inviting you to be a part of that whole process. Because you came here today, you've actually decided that you're going to live this way. And so that's the piece that I wanted to share with you. That it's really a time that you know, I think it's actually opportunity that we have, as opposed to the tragedy that's associated with COVID, right? We can actually look at it and determine, or maybe you've already done this, but determine what else are you going to do. For me, it was a time when COVID first hit, it was a time where I had to pivot. I was already doing face-to-face fitness activities with people, but then everything started to shut down, and so I had to pivot. And so the pivot had to come with virtual, right? We had to move really fast for virtual. But, you know, out of that virtual pivot that we did, I had to learn some things. I don't know about you, but I'm constantly learning new things. I'm learning how to use the computer. So one of the things I learned about people like you and I is that most of the people like you and I say that boomers are not zoomers, right? So it was a struggle for me just to figure out how to do the virtual trainings, whether it be on Zoom or whether it be Facebook or Facebook, you know, some kind of a process that I had to figure out. So it challenged me to learn and to dig a little bit more. How many of you all are learners? We got some learners out here, learners, right? You know, willing to put yourself in new situations. So that's what this conversation is about, is learning some new things, doing some things differently, because the future is right now. Would you agree with me that the future is now? That whatever we're doing right now is actually where we're going to be, and if we want to do more, then we have to expand and learn more. You know, that's what I've come to understand. That in order for me to get to the next place with technology, I have to scramble and figure it out, or find somebody else. I got my nieces and nephews and other young people that I employ to help me with the technology. And so what they say to me is, all you got to do is this, and this. And they're figuring it out, and it's moving pretty fast. But for me, I'm struggling with it, but I'm still doing some things to grow. How many of y'all are struggling with technology, but still willing to grow from the use of technology? Because technology can help you do things quicker, faster, better. But do you still like the old way? I still like some of the old ways. I still write checks. I still like to make sure that I have a check and something that I can prove that I paid. But when I go to the machine or the ATM machine, I mean, that thing goes really fast, right? It can count up the dollars, right? It can give me a receipt if I wanted to. I mean, it can tell me everything that I need, but I'm still not comfortable with that process, because I'm at this place, what some people call a baby boomer or active aging person, but I'm willing to move forward. Is that okay? Is that a good place to start? Can I tell you just a little bit more about my work and how I got here? Just a little bit more. I want to delve a little bit deeper into that, so that you can understand where I've come from. So 27 years as a Parks Recreation Administrator, and so what I did was actually told people what to do. I had 6 or 7 different report twos, some 3,000 or 4,000 people throughout the ranks in various locations who actually worked for me, and I was actually in charge of, you know, sort of pointing direction for these parks and recreation departments that I worked with. But then later on, as life would have it, I had the opportunity, or was given the opportunity, to change my direction. So the conversation went like this. The city manager that I was working for in the city of North Miami, of course after I left Washington, D.C., one day he called me in the office and he said to me, "Nate, you got 2 choices going forward with your future." He said, 1, you can resign, or 2, you can be terminated. Which one do you choose? So that was actually a turning point in my life, that I had an opportunity to try something new. And so with that opportunity to try something new, that's how I became more involved with health, wellness, and healing, because then, I had to make a mad scramble to get to a place where I wanted to do work, because work is important to me. Is work important to you? I mean, not that it's always about getting paid to do the work, but I needed to be able to stick my teeth into something to do things that made me feel good, right? And so work was important to me. And so the next thing for me was, because I was already involved with taking classes with health, with spinning, and going out and learning new things in terms of lifting weights. It was sort of a natural. So it didn't just show up for me like, here's what I want to do. It was through the process of somebody taking something away. And I thought that at that time it was the worst thing that could happen to me. But it actually turns out to be some of the best things that happened to me, because then it gave me an opportunity to help people even more than what I was helping people before. And so I find myself at this place right now, get another opportunity to share thoughts around active aging, to actually open up myself to talk about what the future looks like, and then to interact with you around any questions that you have. So that's a little bit about me, right? So let me get into these things that I'm calling the strategies, right? So of course this is me, right? Welcome. So here's the questions that I want to ask you today. First of all, I'm actually examining myself too. Who are you? Where are you going? How will you get there? And who do you want to go with, right? So from this point on, from a standpoint of COVID, have you really stopped to take a look at who you are? Are you already who you're going to be? Or are you willing to do some changing still? And because I'm trying to evolve. I'm always looking for ways that I can change either my clothes, and some of you all are already aware of that, right? Sometimes I wear these workout clothes, but today I decided to be a little bit different, right? So I guess I'm saying that in order for me to grow, I have to step outside the box, right? And do some different things. So for me, I'm still looking and saying, I still got some more stuff left. I want to use some more of my stuff, right? At this age, I want to be able to share with people that they can do the kinds of things that we've been putting together out here. Go right ahead.
Yeah, the one thing I want to say that's very pertinent here is the biggest thing my husband says is that my brain is still working, and I want to have a purpose in life. And you're a much younger man, but having a purpose is very important to most people, no matter what the purpose is, with or without getting paid. I just want to reiterate that's a very pivotal point in staying healthy, having a purpose.
Right. So that's a piece of what I wanted to get to today is, who are you? Do you have your purpose? Where are you going? Not where you are right now. All of you are established, and so the question for me is, Nate, what do you say to people who have everything? How do you tap into people who have everything and they can move around and do everything that they ever thought they wanted to do? And it goes right to this thing right here, that if you don't have health, you'll spend all of your money trying to get health. So all of the stuff that you put into getting to money, now you got to spend the money to take care of your health. So who are you? Do you have some type of disease that you're fighting today? Are you taking hundreds of, medications? I don't know about you, but I have one client, every time I turn around, she was talking about a medication that she was taking to get rid of this, and that medication was going to take care of that. So it came down to about 15 different medications that she was taking And so no wonder she couldn't move as well, because one thing locked up something else. And so is that quality of life? Is that living life on your terms? Or is that performing life? Or is that sort of, just going through the motions? So that's the real question today, is who are you? Are you really going through the motions? Where are you going? Are you happy here? Do you travel? Yes, I'm sure you do. But are you going somewhere else in terms of your passion? Are you able to really dig deeper and take a deeper dive? So how will you continue to get to where, are you willing to step out of your comfort zone and come to some of these programs that may be challenging for you? Maybe it's the boot camp class that I teach, or maybe it's some of the other classes, because you say, oh, that's frightening, that guy is mean, he looks like maybe he's a drill sergeant or something like that, when maybe that's the good thing that you need to have, because you might need to build bones. You might need to protect, your body in terms of the muscles that you build, but you're afraid to step into that and do that. And the last thing that I would say is, who are you going to take with you? Is it the family that you have? Is it the friends that you've established? All of these things, for me, at this point, as a part of figuring out, what the future looks like, is where I'm going, and I invite you to examine yourself the same way. Here's, we know the problem, right? That COVID has sort of run rampant throughout the community. It's got us, wearing masks and, really social distancing. And we don't know what the vaccine is going to do, if we're going to have to get a third vaccine. Incidentally, I already taken both of the vaccines from Pfizer. And I can tell you that the second vaccine sort of had me in a quandary. I thought, well, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have taken that vaccine because it made me sick. But then later on, I started to feel good. And so as a leader, I needed to share that with a number of other people, because maybe they're frightened like I was to take the vaccine. So now I'm moving forward and sharing with as many people as I can that I've taken it, that I'm doing okay. So perhaps it's okay for them to take the vaccine. So the other thing that I would share with you is that it's time, and you've seen me before, it's time to be a superhero. It's time to step out and you take the lead, right? The message that we're looking to give is that, that you can actually take back your life, that maybe you need to dig a little bit deeper in terms of the exercises or the goals and objectives or the things that you're looking at, but stepping up to be a hero or superhero is what we're challenging people to do as a part of the strategy. That no longer can you sit on the sidelines and say it's okay for me, right? You have to be a superhero for somebody else. That maybe what you do is, if you know somebody is sitting at home and they're isolated and they're lonely, maybe you need to go knock on the door, ask them if they need something, and suggest that maybe they come outside, get some fresh air, get some sunshine, maybe go for a walk with them. So that's my challenge to you, becoming a superhero. So, so active aging. Active aging is different for different people, right? So we don't suggest that everybody is taking my boot camp classes, that are taking Shiva's classes, or taking any of the Pilates classes or any of the other sort of programs that we have. But what we're suggesting is that you have to really examine where you are and figure out a plan to stay active. And that plan may require that you put the clothes out early in the morning, right? Or at night. Maybe you take the shoes and put them beside the bed. Maybe you lay out your wardrobe, and when you wake up in the morning, all you got to do is just slip in them, get outside, walk for 15 or 20 minutes, and then your day is started. Because, if you win the day, you can win, the rest of your time, because you're setting in place some habits. And that's what we're suggesting, that now you got to have, at this time, you got to have some different habits. That the old habits don't open locks like they did yesterday. New habits getting up, working out, getting your body going, talking to yourself about where you're going to go, and not beating yourself up for what you didn't do. All of these things are part of what we're calling active aging. Like I suggested before, learning something new, associating with some people who are doing things differently. These are the kinds of things that we're talking about for active aging. So I already described what that means to you, or for me. And the importance again is that we are here, and you're on a beautiful island. And for some reason, some people don't take advantage of the island. They find something wrong with this or with that, complaining about these kinds of things that they see wrong, whether the water is too hot or whether they can't get a towel or something like that. We got a beautiful space, and you should probably take advantage of it even more. So the one thing that I'm suggesting is green exercise, right? We do this outside here. You don't have to do it with me, but green exercise, get out, take a walk, let nature become a part of your exercise program. So that's these are my strategies. You see me doing chain work. So here's number one. If you are hesitant about what you're doing, if you know people who are hesitant about getting out, exercising, turning their life around, working on goals and objectives, doing new things, then building up a confidence. So believing that you can do a particular program, right, or accomplish some goals that you've set up for yourself. I think that's our number one strategy, and it goes to this notion of attitude, right? If you believe that you can accomplish something, then you will have the confidence to make the next step or the first step. And so we think that confidence is a major part of that as we continue to battle through the challenges of COVID in today's times. The other thing we're suggesting for people to do is take a leave. Anybody see anybody that you know here? Anybody see somebody you know here? So the reason why I say grow bolder and take a leap is that I invited one of my clients to come, and they showed up, and he was actually working on a different program, but now he's working with me on his exercise program, and sometimes he's a little bit hesitant about the work that we do, but for the most part, he's taking a leap. He's actually doing new things. Hector, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing, what your workout consists of?
Yes, I started with you like a few months ago, and my only regret is not to being started before. Really,
Yeah, come up here.
really was fantastic. It's fantastic because I am enjoying every class, every time. And I just proposing to start a new class again. An extra day. I said, no, not yet. But really, I enjoy it very much. I feel really much stronger. But in a daily way, I told my wife today, I am feel like
Looking forward for Saturday. I had a class yesterday. He said, I'm looking forward for Saturday to go back.
yeah, I feel totally different
It's amazing.
than a year ago. Totally different. Much younger, actually.
Yeah, that's good.
And much stronger. I feel I can do whatever.
Thank you. So
All is true.
I'll give him the check after this, okay?
Nate,
Yes.
I saw him working out again, I think yesterday. And he gave him a ball with a handle like he was throwing a javelin or something. And this guy is looking at him, and I looked at his face, and I'm looking at his, and I said, this is amazing. He looks like a young guy. Because it was like a big head. He is a young guy. It was him. He told me.
Right. So he had a kettlebell, and it's a swing that he's doing, So here's what I'm saying. The reason why I say take the lead, right, and grow bolder, is that, you know, the exercises are designed around what a person can do. So as he's gotten stronger, I've been able to give him other exercises that will allow him to feel like he's a Superman in the gym, right? Everybody's actually talking about him in the gym. Somebody said to me, you know, don't let him hurt himself. Well, he's not gonna hurt himself because he has this sense of confidence over the time. He's decided that he's gonna play with me at a different level. And I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm not judging any other trainers. What I'm saying is that what we understand is that his body is able to do things at this age that perhaps other people are saying, well, he's too old to do that. That's not true. That is simply not true. He can do it because we prepared him, and he has the belief level, he has the confidence, he has the attitude, the mindset that says, I can do it. Maybe he might not do it as fast, maybe he might not be able to do it as long, but for certain, I'm gonna tell you, he is coming along tremendously. And I guess I'm saying to you that I invite everybody to think about those kind of things. Sharpen your mind, right? Protect your mind. Protect your mind. I got some books out there. You can look back here. I brought some books that I'm reading. Growing Bolder, you know, Habits, and Disrupting Aging. So protect your mind. And the reason why I'm saying that, because what the research is saying now is that what you put in your stomach actually has some effect on your brain. Did you know the brain and the stomach are related? And so if you got something going on in your stomach that you put in there, junk, otherwise candy, cookies, cakes, creams, snacks. I'm only talking about me. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. So these are the kinds of things that I have to be aware of. And perhaps if it's valuable to you, you need to sharpen your brain, pay closer attention to what you're putting in. And so here's the other thing that I learned about COVID and how to deal with it. It wasn't necessarily what I was eating, but what was eating me, or who was I allowing to eat at me. Some of you all don't know what I'm talking about, but when you get in close proximity with people, sometimes you find out they introduce you to yourself. Sometimes you find out a whole lot more about you than what you wanted to realize. That maybe you don't like yourself as much as you thought you liked yourself. And so you have to relearn how to love yourself. And then if you're even closer to people, sometimes you have to learn how to re-love them. If you agree with me, you can shake your head and say, I understand that, Nate. I've been there and done that, got a t-shirt. Some of you all love everybody around you. I have learned to love everybody. We have some miniature pinchers, right? And one of them is like high strung, barks every time you turn around, anything that moves. And so it is, I have learned to love this little animal. And I'll go on, I'll move on with that. Hey, so here's the other thing. Get rid of all the negative stuff, right? That was yesterday, flush it. You know, I'm saying stress. Get the stress out of your life. Don't dwell on the negative. Look for some positives in your life. Look for positive. Make things positive. You know, even if it looks like there is no end, there is always something bright coming. You know, it can't last that long. So look for the positive in situations. Here's the kicker right here. You can't go to a doctor and for 15 minutes they look at you and say, well, now take this pill and take that pill and see this one and see that one. You have to be your own healthcare advocate. You have to do your own research, right? So, and you have to have conversations with your doctor, right? So, again, I talk about some of my clients who are taking all types of medications or thinking that a particular doctor is the best doctor that they could have, and they don't want to go away from that doctor. Perhaps it's time to take a second look at who you're working with in order to get your health in order. Doctors see death all the time. And I'm not running doctors down. I'm saying to you that in order for you to really, really take your life back and live the way you want to live, that's what we're talking about today, you have to be your own healthcare advocate. You have to know what you're taking. You know, I'm taking a series of vitamins myself, and I put a cocktail together that I've researched, and I know that that cocktail will give me the energy that I need to do the kind of work that I want to do. So come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, when you come out here at 8 o'clock in the morning, for those who come to me, I'm fired up, I'm ready to go. I'm looking at you, are you crazy? I'm ready to go because I have fortified myself with the vitamins and the minerals that I need, and I also make an appointment with the right kinds of doctors. So we've made it a business of finding the best doctors, looking at where they are in terms of their education or who they're associated with. More times than not, we like to relate to teaching professionals, right? People who are always involved with the research. If not, then we ask somebody who knows somebody, always finding out who are the best at what they're doing. Movement, you know it's important, right? Movement is very important. Did I say that movement is important? I look like this on purpose. This is not an accident that I'm healthy like this. This is because I do the kinds of movements that I need to do. Even, how many of y'all move when you don't feel like it? I move when I don't even feel like it. I get up in the morning and work out when I don't feel like it. When I don't feel like it.
8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning. So here's the one takeaway. Do what you need to do, not what you feel like. What you need to do, not what you feel like. Because, movement is necessary. The less we move, the more we're going to be able not to move. So the more we move, the more we're able to move. The hips, the shoulders, everything, right? And some things that you think that you can't do, if you do them long enough or try them long enough, you'll be able to do those. So I already said, watch your health. Take a look at it. Get those numbers down, right? I'm going every day checking my blood pressure. Every day, I'm looking at my blood pressure. Because I know some younger people, younger than me, stroke. How do you have a stroke and you're doing exercise? I mean, that's not paying attention. So it's binge watching your health. Go right ahead.
If you take your blood pressure, you have like one of those little on-phone things with the phone, because I've done it, and sometimes it's 150, and I go to the doctor with it, I'm 130, and it's not the same. And sometimes they say, don't take it so much, make yourself a nervous wreck because it's not calibrated correctly. Do you use that, or you use
I actually go to Publix when I go shopping, and Publix has this machine. I put my arm in that thing.
Yeah, so that's better.
Go right ahead.
You want to do it at the same time every day. You want to make sure you have the cuff on right. You want your feet on the floor. You want this up. So a lot has to do with how you're taking it, and your blood pressure is always going to vary. If you have coffee, your blood pressure is going to vary. If you haven't eaten, your blood pressure is going to vary. You need to know what is normal for you, and then track it, get a log.
Same time, that's important. Yes, I have.
Anybody else? Anybody else got some comments about binge watching your health?
And also, when you go to the doctor, you're also sometimes nervous and you're a little bit anxiety.
Mine goes down at the doctor. I'm a weirdo.
But a lot of times it goes up.
White coat syndrome. They're white coat, yes. What is that? But you get nervous in our doctors and you go for. That's what they call it, the white coat syndrome. I get nervous around my husband.
It's not as simple as this. It's a terrible syndrome.
And it's anxiety, which is all about the cooking. No, my blood pressure goes up just because they kept me waiting for an hour and a half for the Quincy Cold. And by the time I get in there for them to take my blood pressure up and on.
Well, I'll talk to you on the side about that, because I have a client who feels the same way, and they're moving along and getting stronger, and Sheila can attest to that. Right, Sheila? You can't hear me. Right? You can't get angry at the doctor. Correct? Yeah.
Frustrated.
She'll say yes to anything I say, but she understands.
I like my doctor. I'm frustrated at the system. That's all.
Yes.
You can't be frustrated at the system if you want to live.
Yeah, I've been there too. I actually have a phone call into my doctor. I've been working on some men issues with my doctor, and I'm trying to get a phone call with him. He wouldn't call me back. So this is his medicine. You know about telemedicine, right? Telemedicine.
Yeah.
So he hasn't called me back. So now I'm going back to somebody else. I was supposed to get some work done on my body at 60-something years old. I was supposed to get some work done, right? And I got cold feet. I didn't trust the nurses or the doctors, and so I stopped. Am I making sense? If it doesn't feel good, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. I'll wait. I'll figure it out another way. I'll find somebody else. And so, because it's my life. That's the message today, is that we're taking back our life and we're owning it the way we want to own it.
Intuition.
Deeper intuition, right? Deeper into who you are. So here's the thing. I'm deepening my connections with my family. After my mother passed, it seemed like everything sort of fell down. My sisters went one way, my cousins went somewhere else, and the people that she knew, I didn't call. And so, if I didn't have some people immediately around me, helping me think through the challenge, because one of the things that happened to me is I went into some kind of depression after my mother passed. I had a brother that passed. I went into a depression, and I didn't realize that I was going through that. I thought that it was just things that happen when you lose someone. But it lingered a long time. Not only did that have an effect on me in terms of depression, but I was actually unable to sleep through the night, getting up early, all times of the morning, thinking about what I didn't do, how I could have done something different. And so I'm not going to bore you with that. But what I'm saying is that I had to figure out how to get back in there. And so I started to spend some time, talking on the telephone, trying to visit, and then really trying to build a bigger circle with people like you and me, because people like you and me do stuff like this, right? We fall in love with each other, and we support each other, and so that's the stuff that I've had to relearn. So that's one of my strategies, that I got to have some love. I thought that I could do it all by myself because I'm Nate. But anyway, family and friends. So here's the other thing about your strategy. You can't lie to yourself about your health. If something is wrong, you got to go get it checked out. And I'm talking about men. And women are good at that, but men don't. Men, we try to act like nothing's wrong with that. The leg may be hurting, the arm may be hurting, the shoulders may be hurting. You're going through all kinds of things, but you won't do anything about it because you think you're a tough guy. So you gotta recognize that you have some conditions, particularly now as we age. Number 10, and I know you all do all types of things, right? Travel all over, meet all types of people. But what I'm saying to you is that go back and look at that bucket list. Have you really done it? Are you really willing to let your life go without doing the things that you said you were going to do? Have you done everything that you wanted to do? And so here's the last thing that I would say to you, and I sure want to thank you for indulging me, allowing me to pontificate, to talk about, things that I think are important in leveraging active aging. But it goes like this. It says, when you get what you want and you struggle for self, and the world's made you king and queen for a day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what the mirror has to say. For it isn't your father, mother, sister, or brother in life whose judgment upon you must pass, but the person whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back in the glass. You may fool the world over down through the pathways of life and get pats on the back as you pass, but your most fondest rewards will be heartaches and tears. if you've cheated the person in the glass. So that's simply what I'm saying. Don't cheat yourself. Go after it. Take your life back. Live at the level that you want to. Try some new things. Watch out for your health. Watch out for other people. And let's continue to love one another and build a new community. Thank you so much. Anybody got any questions? Any comments? You know what? I don't remember whose poem it was. I just happen to use it because it fits so much for me, and I try to share it with as many people as I can. But I'll look it up and share it with you who it came from. I always say unknown when I find these poems, and I don't know who they are, and they just feel good and they resonate with me. Any other questions? Any other comments about today? And listen, like I said, I put some books out that I'm reading. I don't know if it relates to where you are, but just some insight about, disrupting aging, habits, growing bolder, what you do after 50, all these kinds of things that I think are important as we continue to move forward with our process of taking back our lives. I want to thank you for coming out and supporting me. And it's my friend Nancy back there. And there goes my Bob. You guys know Bob? Bob Knighty? The golfer man? So, listen, thank you so much. Is there other questions? Thank you. Don't forget to get some water or something over here.
Thank you.
Yes.
If you don't feel we can get to an hour, you and she would do like half-hour sessions or not?
I'm not certain that...
If I can interject, we really don't believe in a half an hour. Depending on the type of session it is. We really don't believe in half-hour sessions. It takes a while for you to get into the session, and then to, for us to figure out what you need on a given session. It depends on how you book it. Yes, Michelle.
There is no microphone.
There is no microphone, Michelle. He speaks louder than I do. But depending on the task at hand, because we are medical fitness trainers, we do a lot of different things, and you're one of ours, and you know that we do that, and some of you others join us in classes.
Let's say I can't concentrate or look forward to an hour. You might do
I know. Okay, next. We all know that. Yes. So I do what I do with you, and I can't do what I do with you in a half an hour.
and then stretching.
Well, I mean, it just depends on the client. Your program is different than, say, someone else's who I work with. It's very specific. Miriam's program that she does on Zoom on Saturday is very specific. So I think.
1 hour is not enough. 15
Right. So.
Yeah, so she's asking me about outside training. Is it a trend that's going to continue? And we contend that it's very important, and it will continue. That more and more we're seeing all types of programs outside. That's not to suggest that they're not going back inside, but if you look at the trends that are looked at in this industry, this outside training, or what's called nature training, is one of the things that are at the top.
Ecotherapy. So it's not going to be, if I can add on to what he said, it's not going to be as it used to be. This is the new normal, okay? And we're absolutely in belief that the trends have to change. No longer do you have to go into a gym to get to a trainer or to a fitness professional or to a doctor. There's Zoom. If Zoom is not your thing, then you can go to an outside class. There are many different options. The bricks and mortar gym is out from a business perspective, as well as looking for a client perspective. So no longer can trainers survive building a bricks and mortar. We have never had a bricks and mortar. We have a studio that is converted, that is a 2.5-car garage. It looks like a real gym. And for those of you that join me on Zoom, you know what it looks like. And you've gone, some people here, through our transition. When this first happened, all of our things were in place. That's why we're able to bring equipment to our classes and accommodate you with the classes, because we had all this. We just never had time because I was going to the Biltmore, and I was going to Fisher Island, and then I was going to North Dade and South Dade. And sometimes we did things that's a mitzvah. Anybody know what a mitzvah is? Okay, so we had a client who knew someone here, and we drove all the way to Kendall to accommodate this person who was injured in Baptist, who settled, who they went to spray for sinuses, and they made her into a special needs individual. And henceforth, my commitment to special needs individuals. For those of you who don't know, I have a special needs son. Everyone knows that, so I'm not going to revisit that. But that sensitivity. So we delivered a service where we actually lost money for a very long time, because that made us better at what we do. And so we position ourselves as medical fitness trainers. You need a medical fitness interaction, because you go to the therapist. I had a hip replacement. This is what changed me. You go to the therapist, you go to the doctor, they send you to the therapist. The therapist fixes one hip. You have to get back out there and do everything else. He then refers you to someone who understands the whole body composition in the body. And so if you see me on the island, I sprint, I jump, I do plyometrics. He makes me carry 100 pounds farmer carries, because my body can do it. I can do everything I did before better. One leg is longer than the other. I manage. For the people here who know me, I tell you, you have to manage with what you're given, and then you find the method that works for you. Zoom. I'm only here to guide you on your fitness journey. You never have to spend a day training with us. Right now, we're full. I'm handpicking clients, to tell you the truth, okay? What you can do is you can participate in the class. You can look at the research. You can look through books. You have to be a better consumer like you were when you purchased here. It's a good idea, right? Like your business, it's a good idea. You have to take that same mentality at this age and put it into your body. That's really, at the end of the day, what it's all about, is how do you feel? How well do you feel when you wake up? How do you feel if you're going through a treatment and you're angry with the doctor? Well, I have a client who is angry with the doctor, and I tell him, look, you need to sit back. Tomorrow you want to breathe. So let's just prepare you to get through this. See the doctor, and then we'll deal with you. I have 2 clients right now that are so much better. Does anybody know what a bop bag is? No. You don't remember the punching bag? It goes down and it comes up? Goes down, comes up. I have a client on the island who has a condition, Parkinson's. Best thing. He started boxing. You don't know him. If you don't know, I can't say who it is, but you may know him. Today we're not going to do, I'm like, yes, we are. And it's reflexes in terms of boxing, because I box, just like the rest. I get down on the ground. They don't care. I had a hip replacement. I'm a girl. I'm 64. Run down the alley, because I believe it. And this person feels so much better. I have another client who's in their 90s. You can bring the sparkle back to people, but you have to be able to tell people like us, or on Zoom, or self-identify. It's really important that you self-identify your issues. Make sense? You have access to everything is right here. It has nothing to do with who you are, how you're born, where you live, or anything else. You have access to everything on the internet. You have to make yourself aware. And by all means, please feel free to ask us. I love to be a referral, be an example, because he makes me do push-ups. If I showed you push-up now, you wouldn't believe it. He doesn't make me do it. I make him do it.
Well,
and that's why you look so good. Thank you for that testimonial. Can I get you up and say amen?
so here's what I suggest. That even coaches need coaches, right? I actually have a boxing coach. I have a coach who does Pilates with me. I have a coach who's functional training with me. So the thing that we're suggesting is to get with somebody who knows what to do, who is knowledgeable about what it takes for you to get to where you want to go. I'm not criticizing anybody. What I'm saying to you is that at this point in your life and in my life, it's important that I find the right kind of people, expert. Bob can talk about that. Bob knows when you want to play golf, well, you got to find an expert to help you with your golf game, right? Somebody that knows how to work on the swing, right? If you want to have the best experience that you can have, find a coach, find somebody who's actually knowledgeable and can help you get there. Anybody can make you retired, but can somebody make you effective?
That's true. And so with that, I do a lot of different things. I'm playing tennis. So tennis people come to me and they say, I'm doing this and this. Well, I am the worst, but I'm more athletic than most tennis people. Okay, you put a racket in my hand, all I have to do is run to you because I already can move side to side and shuffle, and I'm strong. So it's more about the technique. But I think in order to work with people, and the reason we go to so many other professionals and build our network, and that's what it is, it's a network, then we can take each individual person and work with their issues. Because everyone has a different concern that they're working on, whether it's their eating, whether it's, they have a joint replacement. I consider myself the island expert on joint replacements only because I know the best doctors, and I only go to sports doctors, and they worked on me, and look at me with a hip replacement and in heels. You have to be able to work through what you have and come to terms with yourself. That's simple. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
On the house? Yes, I'll be there. Yes, Bob. Yeah. How are you today? No? You? You. Yes, should I be there? If you're at 11. I'm going to miss you today. Don't tell me that. Don't make me mad.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Dave.
Hi, Tammy. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Gather your stuff. Let's go. Gather your stuff. Let's go. Gather your stuff. So you got this recorder?